Afternoon, everybody. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Some of you may wonder why the governor of Ohio is starting first. I'm the visiting team today. Governor and I both like baseball, so
That's right.
this is a happy day. And Governor, thank you for hosting us in the Bluegrass State. Let me introduce two key people who you're going to hear from in a moment. Dr. Jack Marchbanks, Director of the Ohio Department of Transportation, as well as Jim Gray, Secretary of Kentucky Transportation Department. So these two men have worked very, very hard and going to continue to work very hard. So we're here today to announce a very significant step as we Kentucky and Ohio work together to deal with the bottleneck that is the Brent Spence Bridge. And we believe this is one significant step forward to build a new bridge and to improve the current bridge. I don't have to tell anybody in this room the importance of the bridge, the traffic jams that occur around the bridge, the need for an alternative to the bridge. I think we all understand that. I think we also all understand the national significance of this bridge. The steps that we are taking today, the documents that we will be signing, we believe will position us in a perfect position to get the money that we need and to start construction on this bridge. This is really an unprecedented opportunity in history. And Governor Beshear and I have talked a lot about this over the years, and we are confident that we can take great advantage of this great opportunity. We will be signing today a Memorandum of Understanding. We have signed these documents before. This is, I believe, the 6th iteration of this document, and it's the one, though, that positions us to move forward. The solution to improving safety and easing congestion on the Brent Spence Bridge is really threefold. We need a brand new companion bridge that would divert a significant amount of the Brent Spence's current traffic. 2, we need to make improvements to the existing Brent Spence Bridge. 3, we need to rework the sections of the interstate on both sides of the bridge. This bipartisan infrastructure bill that has been passed by Congress gives us this opportunity. It includes at least $39 billion set aside specifically for bridge projects. And we believe that there is no bridge in this country that is as necessary and in needing of a change, in needing of building a new bridge through this section. The corridor from Michigan all the way down is vitally important to the future of this country. Let me also, we have a lot of people to thank. I want to thank Senator Rob Portman, Senator Sherrod Brown for this bipartisan bill. I know that the Governor will thank the Kentucky delegation as well. Both Brown and Portman championed the significant funding for bridges that would make this project possible. I also want to thank our congressional delegation, Steve Shabbat, Brad Winstrup, for their long-time support of the Brent Spence Bridge Corridor project. We will continue to rely on our congressional delegation as we move forward. I know we have a large number of the Ohio delegation the state legislators here. I'd just like them to raise their hand, stand up, all of you. Thank you very, very much for being here. And let me just announce that the governor and I will actually do two separate signings or two different periods of time. And when we have the second one, we would like all the legislators to come on up and the mayor to come on up. We appreciate that very, very much. Let me introduce Cincinnati's new mayor, Mayor Purval, who is here. Purval, who is here. Mayor, where are you? Mayor, you're not supposed to be in back. We want you up here, and the other mayor's up here, Mayor, when we do this. The mayor and I have talked about this. He hasn't been mayor very long, but he and I have talked about it a lot of times, haven't we, Mayor? So this is not just about Cincinnati. It's not just about Northern Kentucky. It's about such a big corridor that impacts this country. So let me now introduce Governor Beshear, and then we will have the opportunity to sign this document and move us forward. Thank you.
All right, well, good afternoon, everybody, and let me start by thanking Governor Mike DeWine, who has been a friend and colleague of mine now for at least 6 years. We came together first as attorneys general to fight the opioid epidemic. As governors, we've worked closely together to protect people during the COVID pandemic, but today, we're working on building something together, and we are very excited for the good day that today gets to be. After the last 2 or so years, we all deserve good, bright, optimistic days, especially when, like today, they suggest we've got great years and great decades to come. We're here today also in the Northern Kentucky Convention Center. I know a crown jewel that this area is so proud of. We have done so much here, from hosting the largest of conferences to having one of the most successful mass vaccination sites across this state right here, and I am deeply grateful for the leadership that helped make that happen, as well as everybody that helps run this convention center. Today, we get to talk about building bridges, both literally and figuratively. The Memorandum of Understanding we will sign here shortly is the next necessary step towards creating something that is essential for all of our futures. Building a companion to the Brent Spence Bridge will boost safety and ease a traffic bottleneck that is increasingly impacts our communities as well as this entire country, as so many goods flow across this essential commercial corridor. The need could not be greater. Today, the Brent Spence carries twice the vehicles each day it was designed to accommodate. The traffic, delays, and safety issues that this causes are felt profoundly by the people here in Northern Kentucky and across the river in Cincinnati. The project will provide relief to families and to businesses in the area, but the larger effects will impact this entire country, as we will be able to move our goods even quicker, providing for more opportunity for an economy that I know on both sides of the river is on fire to continue to grow, and especially with the challenges of our present, give us so much optimism for our future. The I-75, I-71 corridor is among the most important stretches of freight traffic anywhere east of the Mississippi River. And unlike any time before, unlike any time that we stood or signed something like this before, the recently passed Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act tells us that we don't just have a chance. I'm pretty sure we're going to get this done. I want to thank Senator Mitch McConnell and Congressman John Yarmouth for championing this in the House and in the Senate. They both voted for this bipartisan legislation that is directing billions of dollars to projects nationwide. And I want to thank the rest of our congressional and senatorial delegation in advance for helping us to push this project as we apply for it among the various grants that are available. Senator McConnell is in Washington, D.C. this morning, but sent along this statement. He says, "I'm glad Kentucky and Ohio's governors are taking this important step today to make sure this project gets done. I was proud to support last year's landmark bipartisan infrastructure deal because I know the vast positive impact it'll have on our state and economy. Already, Kentucky is slated to receive more than $5 billion in federal funds to improve our roads, bridges, riverports, railways, broadband, and more. The bill also created several competitive grant programs for which states like Kentucky and Ohio can apply to help address major projects like the Brent Spence Bridge." I believe we have a representative from Senator McConnell's office today. If she would please stand up, let's give the senator a big round of applause. Yes. So with today's signing, the Commonwealth of Kentucky and the state of Ohio are aligning our efforts to make this project a reality. The memorandum spells out our obligations and positions us to apply for these federal dollars, which will allow us not only to build this bridge, it's going to let us build this companion bridge without tolls. And while we're doing it, I think it reminds this area and this country that we in government can still accomplish great things, even things that some thought could never be done, through cooperation and ensuring that we are putting our people first and not moving any of us to the right or the left, but trying to move us forward. After 2 years of sacrifices while fighting a once-in-a-century pandemic, I believe we are on the cusp of an era of prosperity. Some of the greatest opportunities that our people have seen, certainly in my lifetime, in both of our states. And after the last couple years, we deserve it. We deserve good news about our future, and we are seeing it here today. But unlocking the brighter future requires hard work, cooperation, and trust. Everything you're seeing here today with this Brent Spence Bridge Companion Project. And just as we have during this COVID-19 fight, Governor DeWine and I are committed to continuing to work together across party aisles, across a river, over a bridge that needs another bridge, to make sure we get this done. Folks, this shows what we know is true. Building anything worthwhile takes a team approach. I want to thank just some of the people from Kentucky's leadership who have stepped up to make this project a reality, and this list is a lot shorter than the officials that I see from Kentucky here today. We have Senate President Robert Stivers, House Speaker David Osborne, Senators Jimmy Higdon, Chris McDaniel, John Schickel, and Will Schroeder. We have Transportation Budget Chairman Sal Santoro. We have Covington Mayor Joe Meyer. We have Representatives Buddy Wheatley. We have Rachel Roberts. Am I missing any other? Yes. And yeah, I'm sorry, Representative Kim Banta. You're here to, I'm just used to seeing everybody in a mask. But if I tell you what, if our entire delegation, Senate and House, would please stand, we want to recognize you for your hard work. I also want to recognize, in addition to Joe Meyer, we have several other mayors and county judge executives from Kentucky. If you all would please stand, we want to recognize you for all of your efforts through this time. The original Brent Spence Bridge was built back in 1963 when I was negative 14 years old. The Americans who made it were largely from what is known as the Greatest Generation, the men and women who saved civilization from the Nazi threat and went on to create most of our post-World War II world. The Brent Spence Bridge will continue to serve us for decades to come, and that is a proud testament to the incredible minds that engineered it and the strong hands and backs that constructed it. Let this moment and this project stand as a reminder to everyone that we as Americans can still stand together, whether that is against threats abroad, something we're doing right now, or whether that's to build big, important things. Next, I'd like to bring up our great Transportation Cabinet Secretary, Jim Gray, to say a few words about this important project. See, Jim knows more than just about anybody about the strength and resilience of our current Brent Spence Bridge, as well as the need for the companion span. If there were questions about the overall soundness of the current Brent Spence Bridge, they went away after 2 semis wrecked in the early morning hours of November 11th, 2020, sparking an intense fire. Thankfully, miraculously, nobody was seriously injured, but the damage was serious. Under Secretary Gray's calm and steady hand, the wreckage was cleared and repairs were completed in record time, just 14 days. And something we're telling Washington, D.C. right now, the project was completed under budget. Ever since, that repair project has been praised and showered with industry awards at regional and national level, including the American Public Works Association's Project of the Year Award, the American Society of Highway Engineers 2021 Great Lakes Region's Project of the Year, and Engineering News Record's Best of the Best Projects for Roads and Bridges. The people of Northern Kentucky, just like the rest of the Commonwealth, are lucky to have a public servant with this skill working for us every day. Let's please give it up for Jim Gray.
Thanks, Governor. Well, Governor, I do want to say that you said just a minute ago, or less than a minute, that we got the project done in 14 days. We did a pretty good job. It was 41, right? It was 41, but that was close enough. Thank you.
I told DC 14.
There we go. Told DC 14. Governor Beshear, Governor DeWine, it's really inspiring to be with you all here today and to be with ODOT Director Jack Marchbanks. And too, with all these elected officials that are here today. I want to thank all of you, because I feel like I've worked with almost every one of you when we were dealing with the Brent Spence and the fire. I especially want to, Mr. President and Mr. Speaker, I want to thank your chairs of transportation, who we work with routinely. In the Senate, that's Senator Higdon, and in the House, that's Representative Upchurch, and Transportation Budget Chair Sal Santoro. Thank you all. That was an applause line. Go ahead. And to Director Marchbanks. Jack, this is a bit of a happier occasion than when you and I last appeared together to talk about the Brent Spence Bridge, the fire, and the restoration of the bridge. That, of course, as the governor said, was about 15 months ago, during the emergency project to repair the bridge following the crash and the fire that occurred on November the 11th of 2020. But you know, as it turned out, that incident served to prove an important point. The Brent Spence Bridge is a stout and sturdy structure that's going to be carrying traffic over the Ohio River for many years to come. But it is crying out for help. Now let me talk quickly about the project itself that we are contemplating. It will be what's called a design-build project, meaning that the design, the engineers, and the construction managers will work hand in hand on this project from the outset. They will be seated at the same table working together. That will help us to both improve quality, results, outcomes, and improve our schedule. Together, they'll be looking for opportunities to reduce the cost and the footprint of the project and to engage the community. Mayor Meyer, I know I wanted to say that and punctuate it, and to engage our communities, important to both of our states. We have a great bi-state team. On the Kentucky side, I want to thank and recognize Stacy Hands, our project manager. Stacy is supported by a wonderful cast, including Gary Valentine, Deputy Secretary Mike Hancock, State Highway Engineer James Ballinger, Chief District Engineer Bob Yeager, our bridge guy, Royce Meredith, and I also want to thank Todd Jeter, who is Kentucky's Federal Highways Division Administrator and who's with us today. Governor Beshear and Governor DeWine, they're here. They're illustrating how committed they are to the success of this project. All of you here today are here to illustrate how committed you are to this project. Thank you. And now, let me introduce my counterpart, my colleague, my partner in this project from Ohio, Jack Marchbanks, Ohio's Director of its Transportation Department. Now, let me say quickly about Jack. He's held practically every post at the Ohio Department of Transportation. He's built highways and bridges, he's run human resources, and now he's the leader of the whole enterprise. And to top it off, this guy also has a Sunday radio show for 3 hours, and he is a musician. So he knows how to harmonize, and we are going to need that as we go downstream on this important project. Jack, come on up here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Excuse me. Governor DeWine, Governor Beshear, we applaud your leadership. You have us closer than ever to solving the many problems caused by the Brent Spence Bridge, which, as Governor Beshear alluded to, will be 59 years old this upcoming November. A new companion span will provide safer travel for motorists and facilitate freight movement along this nationally significant I-75 corridor. It will improve the quality of life for local citizens and bolster the economic vitality of businesses located in greater Cincinnati and northern Kentucky. I extend my appreciation to Secretary Gray and the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet's professional staff for their productive collaboration in developing this important project. I also want to recognize FHWA Ohio Division Administrator Lori Loeffler. She and her team have provided us excellent guidance. As alluded to, we have fought through the pandemic to make remarkable progress over the last 2 years. And I especially want to thank ODOT District 8 Deputy Director Tammy Campbell and Capital Programs Administrator Stephen Spinoza. Without their determination and resourcefulness, we would not be standing here today. Governor DeWine and Governor Beshear, you are seizing the moment. By working together, we have an unprecedented opportunity to win bipartisan infrastructure grant funding, without which a bridge project of this scale could not be afforded by Kentucky and Ohio alone. It is crucial that we act now. We all know that every month construction is delayed. Hundreds of thousands of dollars are added to the project's price tag. Once this MOU is signed by the governors, we will not only pursue grant funding with ferocity, we will move on to the critical work of community outreach, updating all the necessary environmental documents, the design, and finally the delivery of this needed project. The Brent Spence companion span will be a much needed investment in the heartland where we live, and will benefit everyone who lives and travels in our region for generations to come. I was telling our communications chief on our way down here from Columbus this morning that we live as executives, as cabinet directors, we live in a politically authorized environment. So there's nothing we can do without the political will and courage of elected officials such as Governor DeWine, Governor Beshear, and all of you here who represent elected office. So I want to thank you as well. Now it's my great privilege to welcome to the table Governor DeWine and Governor Beshear, who will execute the signing of the first MOU.
Thanks, Jack.
You're welcome, sir.
Yes, sir. Here we go. All right.
Ready?
We're ready to roll?
Yep.
Guess we got many pens here, though, huh?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
right, the governors will now take some questions associated directly with the Brent Spence Bridge companion span.
What he means is Governor DeWine will now take questions now.
And then we're going to have another
Transportation
pictures.
directors will take it, so.
Governor Beshear, you said that there will be no tolls on the Spence Bridge. Maybe the first time I've ever said it. Why do you say that?
We believe that the position we've put ourselves in, we are going to be able to secure a sizable federal grant under the Infrastructure Act. I believe both Kentucky and Ohio are in a position to cover our end without the need for any tolls. And certainly, we get the best application process for federal money that's supposed to help out the entire United States by pushing in that direction. I don't just believe it's possible. I believe we're going to get it done.
Governor DeWine, you agree with that? No tolls?
Oh, absolutely. You know, this is a unique time in history. This money is available. We have to compete for it, but we think we have a very, very strong case. We know we have a very, very strong case to get a significant amount of money. This is a bridge of great national significance, and that, I think, has been acknowledged by about everyone. So it's going to take some money from the state of Ohio. It's going to take some money from the state of Kentucky, but we believe that we can compete exceedingly well against other projects across the country and get the necessary money that's needed so that we can build this bridge without tolling.
What specifically are you agreeing on in these documents?
This is really the newest version of this agreement, and one of the things that I think should be pointed out is that before I became governor, before Governor Beshear, you know, these two men were talking, and not only talking, but working and getting ready for this day. And so one of the things that the Department of Transportation, Federal Department of Transportation, is going to look at is what the need is, what the national significance is, but also who is ready to go. And I think this document will indicate that we are certainly ready to go.
I also think it aligns the approach that we've taken to date and makes the necessary changes to put us in the best position to secure these federal dollars. Obviously, our anticipation of that process has led us to make some changes in our approach that we believe puts us in the very best position to secure the dollars. We think it also puts us in the best position to move very quickly after securing the dollars. Listen, we all want to have another announcement where we learn we get enough money to get this done, but what everybody in this community wants us to do is stick a shovel in the ground and start doing the work.
And how important is this to that process?
Oh, I think it's critical towards helping us win. Now, I believe this project is the poster child for the Federal Infrastructure Act. I believe that this is the lasting image that people are going to have in their mind about what can happen when the federal government steps up and provides critical infrastructure funding. We don't want to leave any stone unturned. We don't want to leave any competitive advantage behind when making that application. This is state-changing, not game-changing, state-changing for both of our states. And we want to make sure we do every single thing that it takes to get those federal dollars.
When we talked to the transportation, let me just finish. When we talked to the Transportation Department, you know, one of the things that they wanted to make sure is that we were aligned. Let me just say, Ohio and Kentucky are aligned very, very closely on this. This is a joint project, and that will make a difference.
Can you talk about what the timeline is now and when we might actually see
Right.
a grant application and when you might know how much you're going to get? And as a follow-up, how can both of you assure citizens on both sides of the river that this cooperation is going to continue no matter what, as waxed and waned over the years?
Well, we had invited some federal officials down, and that would have been a really good first question for them on the timing process. We're awaiting the guidance and then the application process. That hasn't come out yet. We did do a call with the U.S. Secretary for Transportation, last week, the week before, and we were assured that, and we did it together, just like we're doing today, and we were assured that once the guidance comes out, the application process, that it's going to be very quick. In other words, they're telling us, and what's quick to the federal government is probably not what's quick in our minds. But we want to be ready to apply in as narrow of a time frame as possible. On the cooperation side, I think I've been working with Governor DeWine my entire political career, and I'm going to continue to.
Yeah. Cooperation has been great. We work exceedingly well together. That will continue. You know, I think from the federal government's point of view, Governor Beshear is right. He and I are in a big hurry, and sometimes bureaucracy slows things down at the federal level. But I also think they have an interest in getting this money out too. And I mean, I think they want to see that money out quickly. And this will not. The conversation we had 10 days ago is not going to be our only conversation with the Secretary. We're going to be talking, I'm sure, to the Secretary a lot. So.
Do you have a ballpark on how much money you're going to ask for?
$2 billion.
Do you have an idea of where each state will get each year?
We're going to apply to the project jointly. And it's going to be probably not just one, but two pots of money, two different areas of that grant. By doing what we do today, it means we're not just submitting an application together. We've put meat on these bones. We've already come to terms on most of how the bridge will be built. We can tell them that we'll be ready to go immediately afterwards, that we can back up. What we're asking for is a historic investment. But one that's necessary, and today we're building the confidence that we can get it done.
Governors, especially Governor Beshear, you've asked for $250 million from general fund, which really hasn't been done before.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you stand in terms of getting that through the legislature? Governor DeWine, where do you see the Ohio share of this? How much, and where's it going to come from?
Well, we're in continuing talks. We're in our budget process right now. What I've asked for are the dollars up front because I believe it makes the most compelling argument to the federal government that they are there. If necessary, we can finance it within our road plan over a period of years as well. So I don't want to foreclose any of the possible ways we get there. I'm convinced, you see how many people are here today, that while we might at different times differ about how to get to the ultimate resolution, I think every one of these legislators want to see this bridge get built, and they've been working on it a lot longer than I've been governor.
So the cost of this bridge is estimated at this point, and as Governor Beshear said and the directors have said, the longer we go and don't build it, one would assume the cost continues to go up. But somewhere in the neighborhood of $2.8 billion. So if we get the $2 billion, then you could have some idea that how much money we're going to have to raise in each of our states, and that will be something, at least from this governor, that we will be working with the legislature and talking with the legislature about how that's going to happen.
Governor Beshear, what is the status of Covington's concerns? Do you feel that you've reached a point where you can assure them that this will not affect our community in a way that they feel very harmful?
Well, I expect Covington and Mayor Meyer, who is a friend of mine and been a friend of my family's for a long time, to continue working with us throughout the entire process. And as concerns arise, even in the midst of once we're there, to continue to be a voice for his community. We're never going to ask people not to raise the most important points, and we're committed to working with him all the way through. And I know he's committed to it as well.
Anybody else?
Updates on time to build projections. We've heard everything from 3 years to 9 years. So has there been any conversations about that?
Why don't we get the two directors up here?
Yep.
We get the tough questions. So.
Uh-oh, I'm going back into my construction background now, Jack. We're hoping that with this design, build, procurement, and delivery method, that we will be able to accelerate both the procurement and the delivery of the project. If the federal guidelines come out soon, as they are predicted to, and we've been committed to, right, Jack?
Correct.
Then we should be able to submit for the grant within the next few months, and that's less than a handful. And then we expect the decisions to be made sometime early fall. That gives us plenty of time to develop, and we're already working on the technical documents for the procurement. So that gives us then the room to move the project forward. I'll let you speak, Jack, to the speculate or to our schedule, any on the actual delivery once construction is engaged on the corridor and the bridge.
Right, thank you, Secretary Gray. Again, lots of unknowns right now. If we do get grant funding by the end of this year, our goal is to have a design procurement package on the street by the fall of 2023. We're looking at 5 years. You know, that's a conservative estimate from the start to the very finish, which will include the rehabilitation of the current Brent Spence Bridge.
And I'd just add, I want us to be able to break ground next year. It's time. I know it's aggressive. I want to be able to break ground next year. Your community has waited far, far, far too long for this. And so, like with every other cabinet secretary and group that is so incredible in our state government, we will take their timetable, we will divide it by 2, and then we will push harder from there.
We're in a hurry, and I know you are.
Right.
Anybody else? All right.
Well, we now need to switch documents to make them official. I know from
Our
our side.
legislators up here, come on
And-
up, everybody, and our mayors.
Can we invite our mayors too and county
Come on,
judges?
mayors.
We have to switch.
Yeah, we got to switch them, don't we?
Yeah. Yep.
Come on over.
All right.
Governor, again?
Welcome again. Hey. Great. Chris McDaniel, nice to meet you in person. Come on up. Good. Chris, do you want me to say anything about either going into session or you would represent everybody?
I kind of represent everybody.
Okay, good. Good.
Some people feel like
We can do, all right.
I don't in the back there, so we kind of have 2 lines and get some faces between. That'd be
Don't-
great.
Don't tell people which one's which. Tell us.
Oh,
All right, everybody smile, come on now.
I haven't had lunch, we're safe.
All right. You ready? All right, we'll do this for the short period.
We ready?
All right, you want a fake sign and look up?
We'll look up. Here we go.
That's okay, I got the program.
Your head is between them. We're good.
All right. Hey, happy day.
Here we go.
All right.
Ready?
Sure.
Oh, God.
We only have 4, so, you know, we usually have 20, so.
Giveaways.
Governor's faster than I am, so.
I only signed with one of them.
Still screwed.